People like the Meta Group and the Cultural Sugar Works who came in and they were showing what they are able to produce. But exhibitors from outside were very, very minimal. I'm happy to see that this small number, which started exhibiting, has now greatly expanded. Many Ugandan companies are showing their products, and I'm also happy that regional and international companies have also taken the cue and are now exhibiting, and the people of Uganda therefore have now a wide range of products from which to choose what they want to buy. The issue is now quality. Ugandans are looking for quality, and they are looking for what gives them value for money. We have therefore made significant progress in the area of value addition and in the area of industrialization, and we are clearly on the track, and we are increasing in this sector. We would like to see industrialization getting a substantial share of the economy and the national revenue than what we have at the moment. Many things have contributed to Uganda being a net exporter and gradually becoming an industrial country. But some of the critical factors that have contributed to this, one is peace and stability in the country brought in by good leadership. And I must here commend President Museveni for having been a good team leader, a good leader and president for the country, and for having given unequivocal, consistent support to the issue of production, industrial production, and the value addition. And not only industrial production, but you must also produce raw materials. So we have had a lot of agricultural products available to support the agro-processing industries. Apart from the good leadership and the peace and stability and security that I've quoted, has been the provision of power. The country at one stage was in darkness, and the question of power to industries could therefore not be considered, but the government put focus on the provision of power, and today Uganda has enough power for her people and her industrialization program, and Uganda is also exporting power to the neighboring countries. So if you want, Uganda is a regional power center. Then there has been the issue of infrastructure. Power, in a way, you can say you can look at it also as part of the infrastructure, but the making of the roads, the revamping of Uganda Airline, an airline for Uganda, and the improvement that is going on at Entebbe Airport. All of these infrastructural projects help the process of value addition, of industrialization. And Lake Victoria has become a huge asset. Apart from the provision of fish, it is also a big route for our exports and imports. So infrastructure development has been a major issue. Let me add an additional factor that has been an asset to us. Our president has been a leading champion for regional cooperation, for East African community. The East African community, which had 3 countries of Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania, has now about 7 or so countries. This has enabled the creation of a strong regional market for us, so that when you come and invest in Uganda, you know you are not only investing in Uganda, but you are investing in East African community with perhaps now about 300 million people. Therefore, this policy of regional cooperation is a major success story in terms of expanding our market. You may know that countries like Kenya used to be exporting a lot of commodities in Uganda. And in fact, some Ugandans were complaining, oh, Kenya, Kenya, Kenya. But now, as you know, Uganda sometimes export small commodities to Kenya. So the answer is not small countries, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. The issue is building a big regional market which will benefit all our peoples. And of course, the final point that I want to make on this question of market and industrialization is creation of an African market, which we have already agreed to create, and now the mechanisms of operationalization of this market and getting the best value out of the continental market are being worked out. In a nutshell, we have moved a long journey from underproduction, from net importers of many commodities to a country which is now a proud exporter of some of our commodities, and a country which is a proud country in industrialization because of the many factories that are now being put up. It is true that we should now also ensure that we focus on production of raw materials and using those raw materials to add value and ensure that the whole value chain is satisfied. Cotton is one major area, coffee another major area. Still, we are just at the beginning. We are scratching the tip of the iceberg. So the country is poised to make progress on all those fronts. And now that we have sorted out the question of power and infrastructure is in place, and the regional market and an African market in place, Uganda is going to explode in terms of industrialization. And accompanying industrialization, of course, will be the creation of jobs, and creation of jobs will mean fighting against poverty. Very welcome. So I'm Ruhakana Rubunda. I'm at the moment a farmer, but I've had quite a busy activity on the political scene, and I have seen Uganda gradually evolve.
The state of manufacturing in Uganda today is quite impressive. However, when we look back, it becomes evident that the situation was dire. In 1986, when the NRM government took power, the manufacturing sector was virtually non-existent. The economy was in shambles, leading to the closure of industries and the decay of existing ones. As a result, Uganda heavily relied on imported goods. To combat this crisis, a few pioneers in the manufacturing industry, such as Mr. James Mulwana, Sembuli Steel Mills, and a handful of others, came together with a solution. In 1988, they established the Uganda Manufacturers Association to promote and support manufacturing in the country. This pivotal step marked the beginning of a journey towards the resurgence of the manufacturing sector in Uganda.
We never had a better way of showing the public and the world what Uganda can produce, especially at that time.
I think it was something like 20 or more years ago when the showground at Rugogo was opened. I still remember a swampy, small area, and I remember people like Murwana, Laleit, Wavamuno, and other Ugandan business people, Amos Nze and the like, trying to put their act together to at least show what Uganda was producing. People like the Meta Group and the Cultural Sugar Works came in and they were showing what they are able to produce.
So when the association came into existence, the main job for the association was to ensure that products begin to be produced locally. For example, soda, juice, sugar, all these we had to fight tooth and nail to ensure that they are back on the road. Today, I'm happy to say that era is gone.
We are here in Mbale at the 12th Eastern Uganda Umma Trade Fair. Why are we here? This event is coming at the right time when the economy is rebounding after 3 years of a lull in terms of, COVID-19. There was no activity happening. But this event is very good for us as manufacturers at Steel and Tube Industries. We are very excited because this event gives our products, mileage, visibility. That's what we want to see. It's not enough having products in Kampala alone, but we have to come up country and showcase what we are producing.
About 8 years ago, we started manufacturing distribution transformers, Umeme for Umeme, UL and Rare, and this is our latest product. But we have gone further to go into industrial stabilizers and UPS. We are based in Kawempe and ECS, local machinery. We've been members of UMA for the last 25 years, and we have grown with UMA. So it gives me an opportunity and my sales team just to go around meeting client or would-be client. So for us, it's really a bonus. It's also with the other businesses because every business has to source raw materials, products, this and that, or services from others. So it's really a network, and it has worked well for me.
In short, these trade fairs are very, very, very essential. Because it is one center, you come, you meet people from different parts of the world, producing different products, engaging with them, and most likely getting either partners, getting suppliers.
And I'm also happy that regional and international companies have also taken the cue and are now exhibiting, and the people of Uganda therefore have now a wide range of products from which to choose what they want to buy. The issue is now quality. Ugandans are looking for quality, and they are looking for what gives them value for money. We have therefore made significant progress in the area of value addition and in the area of industrialization, and we are clearly on the track, and we are increasing in this sector. We would like to see industrialization getting a substantial share of the economy and the national revenue than what we have at the moment.
The majority of industries in Uganda fall under Category B, commonly known as secondary industries. This classification signifies that these industries heavily rely on imported raw materials. However, it is now crucial for country to shift its focus towards the next stage, namely primary industries, which utilize the abundant raw materials found within the country. This transition would allow Uganda to capitalize on its available resources and promote sustainable economic growth.
One of the big primary industry we have ignored, that is the steel mining, iron ore in Kabale. We have 50 years of iron ore. Today, you just go back and look at how much money we spend just importing iron. The president has made a lot of initiative in making vehicles and what have you. Making a vehicle, almost 70-80% of the vehicle is almost steel, which we have here, and we have not exploited it.
It is true that we should now also ensure that we focus on production of raw materials and using those raw materials to add value and ensure that the whole value chain is satisfied. Cotton is one major area, coffee another major area. Still, we are just at the beginning. We are scratching the tip of the iceberg. So the country is poised to make progress on all those fronts. And now that we have sorted out the question of power and infrastructure is in place, and the regional market and an African market in place, Uganda is going to explode in terms of industrialization. And accompanying industrialization, of course, will be the creation of jobs, and creation of jobs will mean fighting against poverty. Very welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, It's indeed a pleasure once again to have you at the UMA, and also we are grateful to you throughout your political career. You have continued to support the UMA, and for those who remember, the UMA 30 years ago was a very, very small operation, and I think through the policies it has now a huge membership, and ranging from the smaller industries right through to the large industries.
Honorable Minister, we want to welcome you to this energy dialogue. We appreciate your continuous engagement with us to hear how far we have moved. This we don't take for granted, and we appreciate you very much. Therefore, Honorable Minister, as I started, I know what you are doing, but can you fast track the 5 cents per kilowatt hour? Honorable Minister, having left that area, I want to talk about the shocking trend of power infrastructure vandalism, which has been labeled to the manufacturers.
I am aware that you, as Uganda Manufacturers Association members, you remain the largest consumers of electricity. You account for over 70% of electricity consumption. I am happy to inform you that last month I commissioned a 132 kV line from Namave Luzira transmission line project, and our transmission network has thus increased to 4,021 kilometers. This line is directly supplying the energy demands of the industrial parks of Mukono, Namave, and Luzira. You have tasked me to fast track the implementation of the 5 US cents per kilowatt hour. I'm ready. I am ready. I just want to be helped to find out how I'm going to bridge the gap.
So my job has been made very simple, because what I will do is to basically touch base on issues that we should not leave in this place. Allow me to start from where you left it. The aspect of joining hands to do mineral beneficiation. Item number 2, Honorable Minister, is in the area of reducing revenue requirement for the electricity supply industry. The other, Honorable Minister, WUMA has had the benefit of interacting so intimately with the Electricity Regulatory Authority, and we don't take this for granted. And I can publicly say that it's the government entity with whom we have the best working relationship. You spoke to increasing consumption of power. We can consume more power if you gave us business. It's a chicken and egg story. And this is where I want to anchor the bulk of my submission. Engineer Kalibala and his team, they do transformers, and their major challenge has been being able to sell transformers. There are various reasons why they are not selling, but I want to tell you that one of them is that we have bidding documents that are skewed to ensure that nobody supplies from Uganda. I'll give an example. I've looked at a bidding document which says, okay, for you to qualify, you must have established 15 years ago. Now, everybody knows that nobody was there in this sector 15 years ago. You want to buy transformers worth 40 billion, and you want actually to prove past delivery of 120 billion. Clearly, somebody has configured bidding documents to make it impossible for actually local players to supply. Allow me to get into number 4. You spoke about Namave and the low consumption of power in Namave. I will tell you that the greatest problem is unreliability of power. So the number and the demand is available, I can tell you for a fact. But reliability is a daunting challenge when it comes to Namave.
Yes, we are here in town, and we are here in Namanwe, and we are here in Lira. Now, in all locations, we do suffer like all of you over here. We are no different. We are running our plants on generators a lot of the time. As you said, the cost of power with using generators is 5 times the UMEME rates. and we're operating generators for products like soap and products like plastics, where if a machine shuts down, whatever's in process is destroyed. It needs to be recycled. There's a lot of cost for us. We're looking forward to corrective measures. We're looking forward to the 5 cents.
So my main issue is on interruptions and looking at the transition that is going to happen from government, from Umeme to government. What I would like to know is the assurance, because he said the interruptions really cost us as manufacturers.
Kiantang Group has partnered with Trend Global, set up a metering assembling plant in Mongbali Industry Park. We launched that factory on 29th of November 2022. And we got all the partner approval from UNBS, and all our meter has tested by Umeme and is all passed. And we are waiting for the order from Umeme. The factory has run without order for over 3 or 4 months.
A lot has been said, but it has come out vividly that we need more frequent interaction. We need a list of items which are reserved for local manufacturers. This is a request from them. Ministry of Energy has to coordinate more with Uganda Investment Authority and the Minister of Investment, so that we guide the manufacturers when they are coming to establish their factories in the areas which they have been allocated.
Transformer industry has several issues that we brought to the attention of the minister. The key issue is on market. Government is the biggest buyer of transformers through its various projects. They actually buy 95% of the transformers in Uganda. But most of these transformers, if not all, are imported, and yet we have 5 transformer companies with a capacity to produce over 6,800 transformers per annum. However, have a lot of business in terms of repairing transformers, but we didn't set up our investments to repair, we set up our investments to manufacture.
I'm so grateful that the Minister of Energy
Members, let's begin. Chair, I take this opportunity to report to you that the meeting, the annual general meeting for UMA members that you guided be convened today, we ran a notice as the procedure requires in 21 days, and the meeting is scheduled for today, and the members have turned up. I want to say, Chair, you have the quorum. The requirement is 60 members, but you have 74 members in the room already. I request to say you allow this meeting to start. We are starting with a prayer. I request that my colleague, Claire, runs us through the prayer, then we get to the anthem and bring it to you.
Let's humble ourselves and pray. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this time. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for this far you've brought us, and we believe the best is ahead. We call upon your guidance, your wisdom, and your Holy Spirit to be with us as we conduct this activity today. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you for the prayer. Let's now run with the national anthem. you very much, members. Chair, the program is running on the screen, and I wish to say the meeting is in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Edie. Language. In my culture, if you are starting an activity and it rains, it means that activity is blessed by God. And as I was starting my speak, it started to rain. The chairman and the members of the advisory board, the members of the outgoing board, our esteemed members, Uganda Manufacturers Association, here present, and those that are online, a representative from KPMG, who are our external auditors, the executive director and all staff of the secretariat, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today is exactly 2 years since you entrusted us with the authority to run your association. We took office the first week of December of 2021, and you have run 2 years. I wish to convey our gratitude to all of you, the members, for supporting us through this journey. In particular, I want to thank the advisory board who have kept guiding us. I want to thank my colleagues who have sacrificed a lot of time to run with all the activities of the association voluntarily and without being paid. And sometimes the payment has come from their own pockets. As the legacy set out by our predecessors, the board members have put in unyielding effort and desire to promote and protect the interest of manufacturers at large. The strength of our voice as an association is dependent on our numerical strength and our financial strength as companies. Our work through the secretariat has focused on proactively engaging the government to address the issues that affect your competitiveness and your growth. You will recall that our strategic plan drafted in 2021 was anchored on 5 thematic areas that guide the operations of the board and the secretariat. And these are operational excellence and institutional development. To enhance UMA's relevance to members and other stakeholders, to influence policy so as to benefit the manufacturing fraternity and the business at large, to create and maintain strategic partnership, and to create financial stability for the association and our members. I'm pleased to inform you that the milestone and the activities undertaken by the board and the secretariat has not only strengthened our association relevance to its members, but all the stakeholders and the business community in Uganda. Allow me to be brief and take through the thematic areas as we have mentioned them. Operational experience and institutional development. Increased member relevance, effective member representation and influencing policy. Creation and maintenance of strategic partnership. So, under operational excellence, we have done the following. One, we repressed our advocates who are mainly helping us with the land and other matters with the new company, MS Lumu Lutalemo. I hope he's here. Can I stand up so that you see him? We have undertaken the civil works, the preparations for the trade fair, but also to improve our showground. We have done all the activities. Can you list as listed below? Those are the activities we have undertaken to improve how we look. But on enhancing member relevance, we have undertaken the following. We have recruited and retained the members, and this, as of 30th November 2023, the total number of 638 have subscribed, and we had increased our membership from 570 to 638, with 68 new members, and most of these members are in the big category. We have made industrial membership lists to get to you and understand your problem at source. Countrywide membership lists were conducted. These were aimed at expanding the membership coverage and collecting policy updates, success stories, and challenges to make informed recommendations to government. At digital directory. Now, we found it compelling that in the global world that we are operating in, we need you to be visible all over the world. And to make you visible, we did the yellow pages of manufacturers. It's available online, it's available to everybody in the world. So, your companies and your products would be visible. Please make use of it and transmit it to your potential suppliers and buyers so that they can find you, they can find your address, they can transact with you. Under effective membership representation and influencing policy. We have done the following. We have built capacity, and we have continuously validated our capacity. We have conducted capacity data evaluation for steel and plastic sectors. We are doing one soon for textiles. We are doing one for agro-value addition. We have participated in the budget formulation, and we have held budget dialogues to inform you of the outcomes of the budget and how it affects you. One of the events highlighted here was the key driver to your understanding of how the budget affects you and how you can moderate your activities. We have pushed forward with the competition bill. The competition bill is to resolve the value chain distortions, especially in the manufacturing sector. This legislative development is a culmination of persistent advocacy and expert input by UMA, particularly in shaping the legal framework conducive to the market and competition. This we have run with up to a point of going to the president, up to a point of going to the parliament. This picture you see here, we are giving our input to the Parliamentary Committee on the Economy so that they can capture our issues. And I'm happy to report that Parliament has passed the competition bill and was sent to the President for signing. The President has returned it to allow for the formulation of a commission that is going to govern the law. So we think we are alive and we are there. We have also done other activities. We have written and presented a concept paper on iron and steel. We have deliberated it at the sector level. We have deliberated the import substitution programs at sector levels, iron and steel, textile, sugar, and all the others. We have participated in the development of the standards, both locally and at EAC level. We have held dialogues to promote uptake of locally made products. One of them was the supermarket dialogue with the producers, which was very successful. We participated in the revision of the Investment Code Act to make it available to all investors without first asking government, without first asking Uganda Investment Authority to provide. Now the current investment code, once you qualify, you have qualified. You don't have to ask. We have championed the revival of the cotton sector and its associated value chain. Now government has picked on it. They are running with it. Recently, I was in a meeting where governments want to visit region by region to see that we revive the cotton sector, and not only cotton, all the primary raw materials that Uganda produces will be prioritized by government, and this is very clear. It was very clear when we put it in NDP 3, and it will be clear in NDP 4, which we intend to start contributing to. We have held workshops on World Trade Organization, on Africa Free Trade Areas. This is another baby on the block that can uptake your products. And we think Uganda is at the forefront of taking advantage of these markets. We have participated in workshop on trade remedies with the World Trade Organization and others. We have reviewed the National Trust Law, CAP 164, and the Trustees Act, which will harmonize legislation related to trusts. We have participated in the National Competitiveness Forum, where UMA presented in the agro-industry, highlighting cotton and other value chains. We have run with textile. I think many of you now know that some of our channels to the market are being blocked by developed countries, specifically America. They are trying to block AGOA, and we are not sitting. We are trying to rechannel our routes to the market so that our industry does not suffer. We have participated in the PSID and UNDP Steering Committee, a feasibility study to improve Uganda's export for selected markets. We have held steel sector engagements with UNBS, the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperative, and the Minister of Finance. We have navigated the intricate sugar industry to see that all players in the sugar industry can stand and benefit from their investments. We have gone to the extent of facing the president to tell him, to guide him on some of the policy changes fronted. I'm happy to know that this area is now being moderated to be accommodative of everybody. We have participated, as we always do, in regional policy engagements. As the ESC, we have contributed to how the Gazette comes out. We have done everything it takes. But here, I must thank you, members, and all of you, because sometimes we don't have the money to send these people, the officers abroad. Sometimes the secretariat is so lean that we cannot divide ourselves, and you have agreed to give us your key officers from your factories who come with a wealth of knowledge and contribute to this fora. You have agreed, the body members have agreed to sacrifice time to be everywhere at the detriment of their work at the factory. Under creation and maintenance of strategic partnership, can you move to the next slide, please? We have done some work, and we thought that the confrontational approach to some of these things does not work, and many times it has not given us good results. So we developed a soft power strategy where we go into an organization or an MDA or government
and ask them on a working framework in the form of an MOU. And once we agree on the working framework and we agree on how we are going to engage, we now can influence what they do. We have strengthened our relevance through entering strategic partnerships with Uganda Free Zones Authority, Uganda Supermarkets Owners Association, National Environment and Management Authority. We have renewed our MOU with Uganda Revenue Authority because now, you know the kind of challenge we have been facing with NEMA. They have been putting in place laws and regulations without consulting us. And they have affected us. Now we have agreed that when you are developing this, it doesn't harm to come to us, let's discuss it. Let's show you our side of the story, then you run with it. And they are comfortable with that. We have gone to the Uganda Free Zones Authority and told them, you are setting up to increase manufacturing in Uganda. How can you work alone? How can you think through this alone? Get to us so that we guide you, and I'm happy they are doing that. We have gone to our colleagues, and I'm happy here, most of people in the players now in the supermarket space are Ugandans. And you have educated them about bubu. Many of them wanted imported products because they're easy to buy, because this. We have educated them that this is your take, this is your contribution to the nation. They had complaints. They are not packing well, they are not supplying, and we have got the producers and got them together. And now it is working. Our local products are now on the shelves of the supermarkets. So, the quantum is increasing. The quantum is increasing, and this is what is going to develop this nation. We have renewed our MOU with Uganda Revenue Authority. In the past, Uganda Revenue Authority would sit with the Ministry of Finance, come out with laws and this and that, and send them to Parliament. Then the Parliament would invite us, come and defend. And then Uganda Revenue Authority would sit the other side, and we sit the other side. And we start throwing stones at each other. At the end of that day, we are not making progress. Now we have an MOU. We are telling them, before you take these roads up there, let's sit, give you our input, moderate you, and it is working very well. And you can see from the pictures that we are now warm buddies. The other aspect is we thought that developing Uganda does not take on ourselves, does not take us to work in silos, in a cocoon, that we are Uganda. And we don't know it all. We need to learn from the others that have done it before and have gone through this. Why would we reinvent the wheel when there are others that have taken hundreds of years going through this phase? So we chose Take, and we chose a state called Konya, and we got an invitation from Konya Chamber of Industries, and it also coincided with the Take Africa Economic and Business Forum. So I led a delegation of 25 manufacturers. We went to Turkey. We interacted with the Turkish. They showed us how they do their business. We agreed to exchange information. We signed an MOU for sharing information, for sharing technical know-how, for trade, for bilateral investment, and I think this was a very wise move on our part. But we also got a chance, courtesy of our ambassador to Turkey, Honorable Nusula Tiperu. She's a good mobilizer, and I want you to clap for her in absentia. When we went to Ankara, Honorable Nusula Tiperu, Her Excellency, mobilized the entire African embassies. So instead of doing tax business, then we went to Africa free continental areas. And we are able to interact with all the Africans that are in Turkey, how best we can trade with ourselves intra-Africa. So that's what happened there. You told us to give you opportunities to showcase your products. And under this, we have held 3 trade fairs. One, we reported on it last year, so now I'm not going to report. But this year, we held the Eastern Trade Fair, which attracted so many people, including our Chinese colleagues from Bali industrial area, and you were able to showcase your products. We successfully held the Uganda International Trade Fair from the 3rd to the 10th of October this year, which was a huge success. In the same trade fair, we introduced 2 new concepts. The B2B, you were able to sit business to business and discuss business, which was there in the plan. But we copied from the football teams. We know when they are going to the football team, to the pitch, they carry these young boys for succession planning. And I will speak to succession planning a little later. We are able to introduce an education pavilion, which was a huge success. And we got a number of school goers. We got a number of institutions that are interested. We got a number of innovators that came along. This was a very good success for us. Under skilling, training and skilling, we also held quite a number of projects. And here I have to thank you because you have provided a relevance in this space. Most of the people that have been skilled have either come from you for skilling, and those that have come from the universities, you have offered them jobs. I thank you very much, and I ask you to continue doing that. We run under this, we have run 8 open courses in manufacturing excellence, security management, operation health and safety, and many others. These have attracted 243 employees from you, and 182 companies have participated. We have trained 946 graduates under the Access to Employment project, and 495 have been placed with the industry on work-based learning. We have gone with the InnoFood project, which was conducted tax training with 36 participants. We have completed the final project reports for DRM 4D project, for validation of capacity study for steel and plastics. We have completed the Kalamoja Youth Development Project and many others. We have participated in retreats as a board, and one of the retreats took us through succession planning and succession management. I noted, my company inclusive, that Ugandan companies have big challenge in succession planning. So we have taken our colleagues from the Indian subcontinent, from the Chinese subcontinent, in confidence to tell us how they do it. How do you do it so that you have good succession planning? We went to a retreat and were duly coached on succession planning. To disseminate this information, I thought as a chairman, your leader, and passionate about this topic, I should write a handbook. I think in your package, there is a handbook about succession planning. Please read it. It is from my heart, and I believe in it. Read it, and where it refers to you, come through with it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm passionate about this. I could be here for the whole day, but I know the chairman has told me that we need to go through this first. I therefore request and beg to move for God and my country. Thank you very much for giving us a chance to serve, and I request on the behalf of my members that you are still willing to serve. Please give us another chance to serve. Thank you very much. At this juncture, I would like to invite the Treasurer of Uganda Manufacturers Association, Mr. Ramesh Babu, to present the Treasurer's report. Thank you very much.
The chairman and members of the advisory council, the chairman and the colleague members of the board of UMA, all members of UMA present. I recognize the presence of our auditors, KPMG, members of the secretariat, management. Good morning to all of you. I welcome you all to the AGM. Before proceeding, I would like to recognize the Finance and Administration Subcommittee members. So these are our Finance and Administration Committee members. This is the team I have been working with, and they have assisted me in making decisions and running the association's financial affairs. Thank you to Mr. Aga Sekala Jr., Ms. Jocelyn Katiba, Mr. Jim Kabehu, Richard Mubiru. Thank you all of you, our committee members, Finance Committee. Thank you very much. Without your support, I cannot move. I am pleased to share with you the performance of the association for the financial year 2022. KPMG has audited this, and later KPMG will have an opportunity to present its opinion on these figures. So they are present here. After my presentation, I will request them and give the opinion on the accounts, what has been certified by them. UMA had a strong year financially compared to the previous year, 2021. The presentation is here. We delivered value to our members despite the economic hardships of recovering from the lockdown. So 2022, we just come out of the COVID. Before you is the income statement, and you can see income statement is being shown on PowerPoint. The total revenue collected was 6.3 billion. Okay. Much higher than 3.2 billion we collected in 2021. So 2021, the figures are this side, and 2022 is that side. So 3.2 versus 6.3, so big growth. The increase in revenue was primarily driven by us being able to host the annual trade fair after the reopening of the economy. So we didn't have a trade fair in 2020 and 2021. So 2022 we had, when the economy is opened up, and we could able to host the annual trade fair. So that has boosted us the revenue of the association from 3.2 to. So I want to just highlight few revenue elements which has contributed to 6.3. Membership subscription, as my chairman said that the membership has gone up to 638. Okay, the contribution from that in this 6.3 is almost 1.2 billion is the membership fee. The another biggest, what I said, the trade fair. So we are able to generate 2.186 billion from the trade fair. So that was a big revenue. We could able to do it. And we also able to successfully got new projects. Our chairman also explained what are the different projects we undertaken. So the revenue from the projects is 1.531 billion. Another big thing is the conference hall and open space. So 168 million last year. So versus 383 million this year. That's also notable figure. Multipurpose hall, this is the hall. In 2021, we had only revenue of 57 million. Whereas in 2022, we could able to generate 497 million. So because the economy is opened up, now the functions have started happening. So we could able to generate. So these are the few, the green highlighted figures. So versus previous year, down is 2021, up is 2022. You can see majorly those are the figures which has brought the revenue to 6.3 billion. I also report that expenses increased, next slide please, increased from 2.8 billion in 2021 to 5.3 billion. So you can see this side is 2021, this side is 2022. The major expenses drivers were trade fair, which I told earlier. Also, we supposed to incur running the trade fair, a lot of expenses will happen. And reinstatement of staff salaries. So this is one important thing. During the COVID, so many of our staff, we are paid 50% salary. When the economy is opened up, so we reinstated their salary. So that's why there's a big jump in that one. However, in 2022, as the things improved, these salaries were reinstated. More detailed expenditures are captured in the notes to the financial statements. So everybody has given the booklet. So you can see that the figures are there very detailedly in the audited report. You can see that breakdown if you wish. I can also tell few important things in the 2.7 billion. The major salaries is 1.56 billion. It's a big figure. Another big one is staff welfare. So those are the two major expenses I can bring to your attention. But in detail, you can look at it. And the other is the training and marketing and promotion is 1.2 billion. In that, the project activities, 997 million has been spent for the projects. Though we collected 2.2 billion in the 2.186 billion for the project's income was 1.5. So against that, 997 was the bigger figure in that training, marketing and promotions is the expenses. Coming to operation expenses, which is 1.257 billion, the major is the trade fair in this. Trade fair expenses 870 million. So that was the biggest element of 1.2. Otherwise, you see that 257 without trade fair. So if you remove that one, so 1 billion out of that 870 is for the trade fair expenses. So remaining is a small changes compared to 21 to 22. And net surplus, you can see that 925 million up from the 252 million. Go back to the previous slide. So overall, from this expenses and the revenue, we got a surplus of 925 million compared to 252 million in the previous year. Despite a weak overall economy, we achieved a good performance and delivered strong financial results for our members. I am pleased to report that as of the end of 22, we are in a solid financial position. So this is the one I want to comment. As you can see from the balance sheet, if you go to the next slide for the balance sheet, the assets base grew from Uganda shilling 42.9 billion to 44 billion, 41.8 to 42.24. Liabilities, the down is the total current assets plus current non-current assets put together 42.968 in 21 has grown to 44 billion in the 2022. Liabilities, go to the next sheet. These are the liabilities, also increased to Uganda shillings 1 billion from, it's also gone from 42.96 to 44 billion. Up from 928 million in the previous year. So, liabilities has increased, and it's attributed to an increase in the accounts payable as part of our broader working capital management plan to ensure cash retention. Let me also report that our cash reserves were up to 1.4 billion. If you look at it, cash at the end of the year is 1.486 billion compared to 926 million in 2021. As you know, UMA doesn't borrow, so working capital is our only source of financing, and the increased reserves depict a solid financial position. I want to take back a few years back, so our previous chair, Barbara, knows, before she has taken over, we had a lot of liabilities. We were not able to pay years together, PAYE, NSSF and all. From there, on our leadership and succeeding our the present chair, we are able to bring back to the financial position to a solid 1.486 cash position at the end of 2022. So this is a great moment. So next slide. Okay. So I just want to also mention that we also spend around 551 million for acquiring the new assets. Majorly some computers, around 22 million. Land improvements, 138 million. Security lights, 101 million. Motor vehicles, 153. Software is 4.2. Building improvements, 84 million. Furniture around 20 million. So which is 551 million is gone up in our assets. In the interest of time, Mr. Chairman, I have yet to go through the other parts of the financial statements, such as the statement of changes of equity and the notes. However, the financials have been widely distributed, and I encourage all members present and online to obtain a copy of these financial statements. Reviewing other statements will help us again a clear understanding of our financial standing and performance. In conclusion, I commend the association for a job well done in 2022. I also thank my colleagues on the board for all the efforts and time that they put in. Especially I want to recognize the marketing committee seriously worked for that international trade fair. Thank you, Simon, and members of the marketing committee. I am grateful to finance department for their diligence and the entire secretariat for a well done job. I encourage all members to use the UMA facilities like the multipurpose hall where we are sitting and exhibit at the trade fairs and to attend the UMA meetings. So this is a request so that we grow together. We look forward to a prosperous 23 and years ahead, and also I wish you all very soon we are going to go for Christmas and New Year season's greetings for all of you. Thank you very much. So the accounts are there in the annual report which is given. So if anything, any questions, I'll pause for a minute. You want anything? Otherwise, I want to go for a next motion to propose. So if nothing is there, Chairman, I want to request to propose a motion to appointment of new auditors, KPMG. So they have done successfully and transformed and guide our management to bring the accounts into streamline. So we want to propose them to continue. So I request members, what is your views, or maybe you can propose. Yes, Jim is proposing to continue KPMG, and somebody should second. Jocelyn, thank you so much. So you second.
I propose.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, I'll ask. We don't have any limit.
I second.
We don't have any limit in our regulation. So this is maybe we have to decide the member. Now, right now, they are almost completed 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, maybe we will put up to your advisory. You can advise us.
Yes, Chirunda Magola from Coca-Cola Beverages, Uganda, and I second the motion.
Thank you very much. And also Jocelyn was also done it. Thank you very much for the...
I've been told as a finance committee member I can't second, but I will support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all of you. I also take the advice from the chairman advisory. So we need to look at how many years we want to continue. Maybe it's within the board, and then we come to the advisory, and we can take a call from that side. So I also, before I conclude, I request KPMG to come and give their opinion on the accounts. So that's very important. I request George Opule, KPMG Audit Director, and also present is that Gusiti Sekandi is also present here. So I request George Opule.
The chair of UMA, the board, management of UMA, and the members present. in your individual capacities, protocol observed. On behalf of KPMG, would like to thank the board and management for considering KPMG in serving the association for a number of years. Chair, I would like to confirm that in terms of the opinion that is going to be read in the annual report, KPMG has done what is supposed to be under the various standards and different mandates in terms of the compliance requirement of the standards and then international standards on audit. Chair, allow me to confirm that that interaction happened vigorously. There was a detailed engagement between KPMG and the management team of the association, and I can confirm that this exercise was logically concluded. And in summary, thank you. That exercise was logically concluded, and we are happy to confirm that we issued an opinion on the financial statements of the association for the year ended 31 December 2022. And the kind of opinion that has been issued is actually a clean opinion or unmodified or unqualified report. So that is the clean opinion we're talking about. Chair, allow me to take you through the opinion, which is actually in your booklet. It's on page 55 up to page 58. Chair, I read the first paragraph and the last paragraph verbatim. We have audited the financial statements of Uganda Manufacturers Association. The association set out on pages in the small book, it was page 10 to 43. In the annual report, it is 59 to 92, which comprise a statement of financial position as at 31 December 2022, and the statement of comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes to the financial statements, including significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of Uganda Manufacturers Association as at 31 December 2022. The financial performance and the cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with international financial reporting standards, IFRS, and in a manner required by the Companies Act 2012 laws of Uganda. That is the clean opinion that is issued on the audited financial statements. Also, in terms of compliance with other legal and regulatory requirements, Chair, I can also confirm that as required by the Companies Act 2012 laws of Uganda, we report to you based on the audit that we have obtained all the information and explanation which, the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. Proper books of account have been kept by the association so far as appears from our examination of those books, and the association statements of financial position and comprehensive income agree with the books of accounts. Chair, I can confirm that this opinion was rightly signed by the partner who was responsible, Mr. Asad Lukwago, on the 28th of November 2023, and I confirm this is the opinion that KPMG as a firm is ready to stand by at any one time. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, KPMG. Members, I think we are almost coming to the end of our session, but I would like you to receive the report that the board has presented and to receive the accounts. And I would like to see whether we can adopt these two documents. Yes, Mr. Lalan.
I propose the motion to adopt the UMA Annual Report 2022.
Thank you very much. Anybody seconding? Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, at this juncture, I would request my members of the board to stand up because we are handing over. People should see you before you go. Please stand. Yeah, please stand up. And please come forward and take seats here. Members, this is the winning team that I've been working with the last 2 years. Please give them another round of applause because they have done a tremendous job. Dear body members, thank you very much for the sacrifice of time, money, and everything you have put into the association. Since we are short of time, I'm going to read the name. You raise your hands. We have myself, Deo J.B. Kayemba, as the chairman of the board. We have Aga Sekalala Jr., the vice chairman. We have Mr. Lamesh Babu as the treasurer. We have Mr. Skanda Lalani, our elder and guide to the board. We have Mr. Simon Kaheru. We have Mr. Richard Mubiru. We have Mr. Hari Maheb Alan. Alam, where are you? Yes, Ali. We have Madame Joseline Kateba. We have Mr. Eddie Senkumba. We have Mr. Hema Katau. We have Mr. Adilanya Barcha. We have Mr. Mwine Jim Kabeho. We have Mr. Senyondo Mansour. We have Mrs. Mwesu Gwalidia. We have Madame Shifa Kadu. We have Mr. Stephen J. Mpaji Kalibala. We have Mr. Haji Ibrahim Rule. We have Mr. Zhang Hao has been represented. We have Dr. Theodora Tuonjire Mondo. We have Mr. Bijoy Vagase is not here with us today. And Mr. Jamiru Kasuja Mwanga, who is also not with us. So this is my team. And we have come to the end of our term. And we request to hand over the association to the advisory board to give you the next board members.
Morning, Chairman of the outgoing board, our board members, members of the advisory board present today. I think many of you know our advisory board, and our function basically consists of looking after the estates of the association. And we have about 7 members with us. We have Mr. Kaduki Beru, we have Barbara Mulwana, we have Mayu Madwani, we have Mr. Emo Senzei, we have Mr. Aga Sekalala Senior, we have Mr. Gordon Wawamuno, we have Engineer Kalibala, also very actively participating with us. The basic functions of the advisory board are to look after the estates, to look after the running, and to advise our board on issues that I think general fault. Anyway, to advise the board members on issues that we see need correction, or issues that need addressing, and hence you see the ability of the association to make reasonable returns and good money for the running of the association, as well as the expansion of this association. I think it's important that the board tries to bring in new people, tries to bring in people who are more qualified in terms of presenting cases for members. As you can see, and as you know very well, the economy is becoming highly competitive. So survival is really a big issue. So for members who are looking for that support, the UMA must give it to you. I think this is one of the big things that the Uganda Manufacturers Association, almost from inception, has been one of the associations in this country that is self-standing, means standing on its own revenues. As you can see from the, as you saw from the financial statements, we have surplus funds at the moment, but there was a time when there were deficits, big deficits, and the boards at that time took some quite tough decisions to bring the association back online. So I think it's really a partnership between the advisory board and the board members to see how best to run this association. We hope going forward things should ease up a little bit and the economy should begin to settle down and business should become more and more normal. We hope that markets, the markets in the region begin to open up. I think Uganda's manufacturing capacity has grown considerably in all sectors. And the question now is a bigger market. That is what we need. We need a bigger market. We need the ability to develop more and more the local available resources so that Uganda becomes more competitive in the region. We need to also look at how to make sure that we are able to be price competitive, to cut out non-tariff barriers, to cut out problems that some of our manufacturers continue to have. I think capacity building in Uganda has been quite substantial, and we just really need to look for more market. I think manpower resources, as you saw, the UMA is trying to develop more and more manpower resources. I think interns into many of the member organizations, interns are being trained and utilized in the organizations. We thank our members for that. If there are difficulties, if there are problems, we would like to open up and our members to come forth with the problems so that we see how to address them. I wish to thank the outgoing board for a tremendous job done. As you see, it has been a tough time. It has been a tough time for them, bringing back the association back online. Actually, there was a time during the COVID period there were no trade fair funds available because of the COVID situation. So I think that's coming back online. The advisory board is looking into issues concerning the growth of the association, the growth of income, the growth of revenue. That is one of the things which we are, as an advisory board, are beginning to focus on more and more, to see that the UMA will be able to go much further into the future with its own revenue and own revenue creation. So that's one of the things that we are focusing on, and you'll soon hear the new plans that are coming out and the new developments that are being proposed. And these are things that can help the association move forward. As you heard from the outgoing chairman, many of our members offer their services free of charge. From the inception, when the first shows were being held at the Logogo showground, at the Logogo cricket oval, on the upper side, to the time that we got this land, the formation members themselves were standing at the gates and collecting money. So you can imagine how much sacrifice was made at that time to bring this association to where it is. So that's why the advisory board is given that responsibility to ensure that the funds of the association are closely guarded and things are taken very seriously. I think I covered a little bit the concern of manufacturers. I'm sure that we haven't covered in depth many of the concerns, but because I'm sure they're quite big things that are troubling many of the manufacturers. we would like you all to work harder in the budget formulation and to make sure that government adopts the ideas that are generated here so that they can be put into the budget and your industry becomes more and more competitive. I think that's one of the things we have to really look at. We thank KPMG for the good work of the audit. We would like to see that the association continues to grow, and going forward, we become a stronger association. I think our role as the advisory board is very simple today, is that we are to appoint a new board. Normally, the constitution of the association proposes 2 years for a board to run, with an extension of 2 years for the chairman to hold that post. So members, we have the opportunity to elect a new board, or we have an opportunity to allow the existing board to continue. I think these are things that we need to do. We have already our returning officer, Mr. Sabagala, is with us here to conduct the election. So we are very fortunate. A member of the Electoral Commission himself is present with us. Maybe you stand up, Mr. Sabagala. So you can, maybe I need you maybe to come here so that I add more neutrality to this forum, so that you're able to conduct the election or the reappointment of the existing board. I think we have interest from all the board members to continue standing, to continue their positions. We have also requests by the chairman to continue his position. And you know the chairman has been working very, very hard. In fact, I think out of the chairman, he's done a very, very good job. And he's taking the position very, very seriously. I think a little bit, sometimes I feel a little bit too seriously. But maybe it's good for us. So I think with these few words, I'll ask Mr. Sevagala to see how things are taken forward. Thank you very much.
The Chairman, Advisory Council, Your Excellency Abid Alam, members of the Advisory Council here present, members of the outgoing board led by Mr. Deo Kayemba, members of Uganda Manufacturers Association, well-wishers of the association, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. I am first of all privileged to stand in front of you, and allow me to remind you that I was once the executive director of this association for 8 years. And anything to do with Uganda Manufacturers Association, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a member of the family. And any progress and development is always my pride. Thank you for steering the institution. I want also to thank you for the trust you have put in me to conduct this election. But before I do that, I go to the real function. I would like to add my voice to that of the chairman of Advisory Council to thank the outgoing board for a job well done. Mr. Kayimba and your team, thank you very much. One unique thing with UMA, if I may remind you, that like exactly the chairman and the chairman advisory council have always said, members serve voluntarily. They don't get allowances like other institutions where when you're a member of the board, you are given an allowance, transport, retainer, etc. But instead, members of the board put in money in the association. And I am a member who witnessed that one. Every time we had an issue to do with the money, I simply call somebody, I want some money, and people would bring in money. Thank you very much for that. It is against that background, ladies and gentlemen, that the Constitution of UMA allows you to propose on how, if a request has been made when we are doing elections, we do what we call nominations. But there are chances and the opportunities given to the electorate to propose a continuity and or to have only one member standing for that particular slot. And the one nominated goes unopposed. That is also allowed. Therefore, I want to inform you that the ballot papers are here and well sealed, already with us, equivalent to the number of members who are eligible in each of the constituencies, in this case categories, all the way from corporate, large, medium 1, medium 2, and small scale, small category. And it is always the culture of this election that only paid up members are supposed to vote. So the ballots here are equivalent to the number of members who are paid up category by category. But that only comes when there is no request for otherwise. May I therefore request, if there is any proposal from you in as far as nominations are concerned or proposal is concerned, you raise your hand and we continue from there. The ball is in your hands. Yes, Chaudhry. Mr. Chaudhry. Sorry, I still remember your name.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Looking into the financials and the activities done by the outgoing board, I propose that we give them another term to continue. So that is my proposal. Let them continue for another term.
That is Mr. Chaudhry's proposal. Any other person with any other proposal? Yes, Indugo team. I hope I'm saying that I remember the name as your team.
Yes, I'm seconding. Emmanuel team, I'm seconding.
Thank you. Any other proposal or any other issue? Feel free to have a contrary view if you have it. I'm just giving you a minute to think about the whole issue. You know, during nominations, we give people time. Somebody might decide to come at the last hour for as long as he's within time. It is allowed.
Hello. My name is Mohan. I propose motion mode. So we allow them to continue for another 2 years.
Thank you very much. Given the silence from almost all of you and the proposal to continue, or the outgoing board to resume their seats as members of the board, and the seconders to that motion, you have made my work very easy. For us in elections, of course, we don't work for free because it is a job. But the payment is going to be for free because there has not been any elections. I therefore want to take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to declare that the outgoing board has been duly renominated to take the seats again, 100%. This is therefore to call upon the chairman of the outgoing board to come back with his team, and I declare them officially. Mr. Chairman, Advisory Council and your team, members of the Uganda Manufacturers Association here present, and those online, by virtue of the powers entrusted to me, I wish to declare that in the corporate category, Mr. Deo Kayemba has been nominated and opposed as chairman. Mr. Skanda Lalani, Mr. Chirunda Leo, in for Simon Kahel, Mr. Richard Mubiru. They've gone through under the category of corporate unopposed. You can have your seats for that category. Under large, or in the large category, Mr. Ali Alam, Madam Jocelyn Kateba, Mr. Ramesh Babu, Mr. Aga Sekalala Jr., Mr. Eddie Senkumba, and Mr. Hema Katau have been declared unopposed. Those declared, you can see it. Under medium one, Mr. Adnarayana Bacha, Mr. Jim Kabeho, and Mr. Manzur Senyondo have equally been declared unopposed. Under medium two, Madam Lydia Mwesgwa, Madam Shifa Kadu, and Mr. Stephen Impaji Kalibala have equally been declared unopposed. Under small, Mr. Ibrahim Lule has equally been declared unopposed. You might be surprised that Madam Mwebesa is standing, but is on that board as an ex-official, so she's free to say it. I wish, therefore, to officially congratulate you members of the new board for the next 2 years, 23, 24, 24, 25. Congratulations. And at that juncture, I take this opportunity, Mr. Chairman, Advisory Council, to hand over the results to you and declare the election closed. Thank you.
Members, I think you've witnessed the re-election of a most competent chairman and his board. I think their record speaks for themselves. I wish to thank Mr. Sebagala for always being with us to carry out the election freely and fairly, and I think quite quickly also. Otherwise, normally it takes a long time. This is the last term for this board to run for the next 2 years, and definitely the next AGM will be a new election. So we will be welcoming Mr. Kayemba into the advisory board at the end of his term. So we would like that he works very well to support the advisory board in this last term and make sure that programs are carried out in line with what the manufacturers expect of the board and its mandate. Going forward, I expect things to ease up a little bit, and I hope the economy will improve and they will have a better time to work forward. So I wish to congratulate you, Deo, and your team for being reappointed, and we wish you all the best. Deo, I wish to call upon you here to give your remarks, and we take the meeting forward. Thank you very much. I hope you have a few words, very, very few words. Huh?
The chairman, advisory board, and the members of the advisory board, my super team that has earned us another term, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. It is always good to work with members that deliver. My employers, the members of Uganda Manufacturers Association, on my own behalf and on behalf of the board, would like to thank you very much for offering us another term to serve. And at UMA, service is service. Because as you heard, we don't take financial benefit. But many of us at my age and your age, we take pride in serving this nation, especially at this level. When we go to parliament, ministries, and fight and advocate for your rights, we go home satisfied. And this is what really satisfies some of us. And we thank you for letting us do this again and again. I don't have to promise much because you know what we stand for, you know what we do, you know what we want to do. It comes from our heart. It comes from our day-to-day activities. So I promise you that this board is going to protect your interest as manufacturers. Is going to create harmony. We've been having a few challenges here and there. But as a country, we need harmony. We need what they call a national conspiracy to move this country to the next level. And if we are together, if we sit together, act together, we are going, because God gave us everything. You know, countries have been running with the agenda, environmental agenda, energy transition, mineral beneficiation. Wherever they take us, we are there. Take us, because now countries have been fighting on the energy agenda. Energy transition. Stop fossil fuels. Stop this. We already clean. Then why don't we go? So this forum that you created, that our forefathers created, should be the route to the market, should be the route to growth, should be the route to harmonious living amongst ourselves. And I promise this is what we are going to work for. We are going to work for your growth. We are going to uplift the small SMEs from down there to become world-class companies. We are going to train them. We are going to offer them facilities. We are already working. In our time, we have been working with the big 6 audit companies to offer you advisory, to audit your books at a subsidized cost. We've been working with NEMA to treat you well. We've been working with all these other groups and the banks, UDB and others, to prioritize you as a driver of this economy. Thank you very much for allowing us to serve, and I promise on behalf of my colleagues that we are going to serve. For God and my country, thank you. I request that, we have closing remarks by you.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome all the members here, especially our elder brother, the board, the incoming board. My work is very, very simple, and that is to thank. But before I thank the new board, which has come in, I want to thank the outgoing, which has been, for the work well done. We have seen all the proposals here, and we really thank you. We in the Advisory Council are really proud of you. And I want to thank the members for having thought it good to return the outgoing to accomplish what they have started. You know, when you are put in place, where you are elected in office, the first thing you do is to learn. And the very reason why the Uganda Manufacturers Association has the Advisory Council is to advise the incoming board not to go astray. And I'm sure we have done that. So for the new incoming board, please make sure it is time for action. Talking closed. Time for action. Now, there are a few things you pointed out here. And when we come back after 2 years, remember we are going to ask you. One, you talked of increasing the incoming finances of the association so that the association becomes more dependent on itself. You talked of those who started. They were digging money from their pockets to support the what? The association. Today, we are getting money to support the association. But still, we need more money for the association to do so many other things to keep us afloat. Therefore, Mr. Chairman and your board, that is point number 1. Point number 2 is the cotton project you've talked of. Yes, you have kicked it off. But there is a lot to be done. We are tired in our industries to always import materials. In fact, now I should also call upon the government to look into the steel sector, because we cannot go on importing steel from outside, because Mr. Lalan is here. They are just importing steel billets. When actually we have iron ore sitting in this country untapped. Licenses are given to individuals. But mark you, this is a huge project which you and me cannot afford. So the government must come in to ensure that this project is exploited in order for this country to stop importing billets, iron billets. There is also one point which the chairman may be overlooked when you are talking about the competition bill. There is also the counterfeit bill. Remember, Mr. Lalani, how long it took us fighting for this bill to be passed. The war still goes on. Because when this bill is still in place, when the counterfeit bill is not in place, we are really suffering, we as manufacturers. Therefore, I urge the new board to ensure that this bill is pushed and passed. Lastly, there is a project which has been lagging for so many years. But I want the new board with advisory to sit at earliest to ensure that this project kickstart. And that is the good thing about the project we are talking about. Once this project has been done, one, there is a lot of security which we would have done for this association. As we talk today, that part which is not developed is very, very bad for us, and that is where insecurity comes from. And that is the upper grounds. Because you all know, all that stretch is occupied by the vendors. It is a security risk which UMA must look at and ensure that there is something viable done in that area. Chair, I've already tasked the chairman of estates to ensure that this is done also. He has come up with several proposals, but I'm sure in the next few months, this proposal would be passed by the board and the advisory so that we earmark this project to start in the year 2025. In my own style, I wanted this project to start in 2024 because there is a lot to do before the project starts off. But since we have delayed passing the project, then 2024 is a dead year. And we have to start in 2025. They always say, better late than never. Members, I thank you so much for always think about UMA. And please, it is you, the members of UMA, who will make UMA envied by many others. You know, when we are starting here as UMA, how many associations were in place and how many active associations are still in place. So I really thank you for being so active, and please keep it up. May the good God guide our board to success. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause for those closing remarks. Chair Advisory and the team, Chair Board and the Board of Directors, ladies and gentlemen, manufacturers, giants of manufacturing. Thank you very much for a well-closed annual general meeting. Allow me to welcome the Executive Director to give now administrative announcements. Thank you.
Thank you, members of the advisory, for guiding us through. Thank you, the board, re-elected. On behalf of the Secretariat, I think I am here to retaliate our commitment to ensure that what the board has committed, pledged to do, will ensure that we become their foot soldiers and we'll have it done. Two announcements. Number one, the chairman gave the report, but all these activities are in our information store we call a website. On your paper, on your table, there is a paper that says scan me. Just use it to scan, it will take you to the website. We have a lot of information of what is going on because you are in information era. We beg that don't do a night without checking on WUMA website. Every day we have got information there and would love to always get feedback on what is happening. So all this information is there and we reach out to us in case of anything. I am happy to say there is lunch that is ongoing, and I say thank you. We close this here. We are going to have a national anthem, I'm told, as a way of closing. And at the end, we are going to do a parade out here or here, and then we do a photo moment for the record. So the chair, advisor, and your team, you'll guide and lead in the photo after the anthem. Let's run the anthem. . let's now do the photos. We are going to have the first photo. It's going to do incrementally. The photo of the advisory president, joined by the board members. Then after that, we get the photo for everyone that is present. Sidewise, for those who came earlier, you must have seen videos that are running. These videos are very important. In case you want to have a video of your company, just the two things: the processes and the characters behind each product. So we have a table there. You just let us know, and then we'll see how you can be scheduled to come and get the video of your production processes. So let's have the board members, please, quick. Board members, join the advisory for
Today marks the first year of the 2 years that you asked us as a board to lead and manage the affairs of Uganda Manufacturers Association.
And today's AGM has been amazing. As manufacturers, hearing any idea that helps you to decrease your cost of production is always exciting. And hearing the chairman of UMA talking about our negotiation for the 5 cents per kilowatt when it comes to electricity is really amazing. If at all UMA can be able to secure that.
We are signing MOUs with URA, with Export Promotion Board, Capital Markets Authority, so that we know, we go inside, know what they are doing, so that we bring it back to you.
In my opinion, I think everyone in the business should be a member of this association, because we learn so many things from here. For example, many of our members outside there don't know that there is things like duty remission where we can bring in the products purpose of using in our factories, and we are given a chance to bring them without paying taxes for them. People don't know.
A strong association requires strong financial backing. Total gross income raised in 22 was 2,270,716,862 compared to the 1,560,172,851 of 2019.
We have been given that privilege of auditing Uganda Manufacturers Association for the past 3 years, and we are very happy and proud to have seen a fundamental transformation of the association from where we found the association's internal controls to where they are right now.
What I can confirm is that we have constituted a technical working team comprising WUMA and the Electricity Regulatory Authority. The purpose of this is to tease out the technical details that will allow that.
The users of industrial sugar are also members of UMA. We found ourselves in government corridors engaged in fights, which fights were not helping our production or bottom line. If we had had the conversations here at UMA, we would have gone to the government together to advise government about how to pursue their policy correctly.
For purposes of giving a trajectory, we see that chair earliest happening in the second half of next year.
We lack market. The presidents of those say the superpowers and what have you, their work, main work for trader, for manufacturers, they go from country to country looking for market.
The markets are our biggest challenge. So we need to work hard on the markets. We need to create those jobs and we need to create more and more consumption. So this is something which we should take seriously up ourselves to make sure that this message goes to the people and to the government.
We are getting organized. We are naming the roads so that when you come here, you know which road you are. And the next trade fair will even be better because we want to zone.
Enjoy some.
If I come here to see electronics, I know where to go.
Thank you very much.
I thank
Have a
you
nice day.
for always being there for UMA, and please keep UMA at heart.
We are excited to host you this second edition. The theme of the national budget for this year is harnessing the power of commercial agriculture, industrialization, service expansion, digital transformation, and market access to fully monetize Uganda's economy.
The insurance industry is keen on creating impact. And I want to tell you that we have expanded our policy benefits. If you engage any of our members, you will notice that we've expanded our policy benefits for them to be relevant.
I'm happy to have attended the UMA Budget Dialogue. It's a very wonderful experience, bringing all the key stakeholders in one house so that we discuss and providing an opportunity to us, the people in manufacturing, to meet the key policymakers and also interact amongst ourselves to see how we can together work with the government to grow the manufacturing sector.
I want to mention to you that our government, the NRM government, remains committed to our mission. And our mission in the context of this dialogue is to move people from the poverty they are in to money income, to the money economy.
We believe that when we deal with one entity, we should be able to actually tap into the entire value chain of that entity, meaning if I'm looking at a corporate entity, I should be able then to deal with, to see how I can support the suppliers of that entity, the transporters of that entity, and the staff of that entity, the people who are working for that entity. We have so many products that are tailored to support.
Today we had the opportunity to speak to government and the members of UMA to talk about how we can improve the economy. For us, that means having the opportunity to talk about the taxation that's in place, to talk about access to markets, to talk about energy costs and how they're affecting our production.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they have done their part in terms of negotiating bilateral, multilateral agreements.
Even before we talk about the East African community and anywhere else, we still have a huge local market that we are yet actually to optimize in terms of access.
To be able to penetrate other markets. We are talking about markets in the region. We are talking about Africa Continental Free Trade Area. You're not going to sell there unless you are really ready.
Today, Movit could be arguably the biggest fully indigenous taxpayer in this country. What will happen when you run them out of business? There's a possibility that you're going to affect Ugandans, but you're going to affect the government as well, because you're not going to be able to get the tax that we contribute. So we are seeking for involvement in terms of, as government tries to structure these policies, involve the key players, because you may end up running them out of business.
Instead of squeezing
a structured, more compliant sector, which you are assured that 95% of that sector will be actually voluntarily comply. What are your strategies in tapping into the